Hello everyone, Pastor Matthew here. Continuing our Advent series, we are going through the very popular Advent hymn, O Come Emmanuel. We see just what these things mean. We see what the verses mean. My goodness, you want to sing already? We'll get to it, don't worry. Last time we talked about how Emmanuel would be the rule giver, the lawgiver, who would order all things right, who would bring the law and fulfill the law. But now we have to also ask, he's going to come in person, so obviously he has to come from someone. But what? The next verse of O Come Emmanuel explains just this. The next verse, the fourth verse. O come thou branch of Jesse's tree, free them from Satan's tyranny, that trust thy mighty power to save, and give them victory o'er the grave. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Yeah, you like that, huh? I'm glad. I'm glad someone likes my music. Yeah. This is actually a very important verse. You see, bloodlines are important for many people. It tells us from where a person comes, their history, their purpose, or even their worth. At least that's how it was back in the day. Today, our bloodlines are more history-focused and are more kind of like little fun facts. For instance, my wife came from England and actually can trace her lineage back to the priest who helped make the Anglican Church. Thought that was pretty cool. But for us, that's just what they are, a pretty cool thing. Back in the time of Israel, the ancient days, bloodlines were very important. They told you about what this person was going to do, what this person's life was like, and what you can expect this person to be like because their family was this way. Excuse me. Therefore, the line of Jesse, the branch of Jesse, which the song goes to, is a notable one. For from its little spring, from its shoot, comes a powerful King David. Now, King David was the second king of Israel, and the king that God gave much honor and power and authority to. Indeed, that he was so great that the line of Jesse was to rule all of Israel. All kings would come from his line in some way. Now, there is much good in this bloodline. For instance, David, Jesse's son, would plan to build God a dwelling place, the temple. And Solomon, you might remember him from a couple of times ago, Jesse's grandson, would see that temple be built and the kingdom of Israel flourish and be powerful on the earth. But the bloodline is not without stain, though. David betrayed, murdered, and dishonored himself when he killed a loyal soldier and took that soldier's wife for himself. Solomon would fall away from God and would pursue the pleasures of this world over that wisdom from God. Many other kings would do very evil in the sight of the Lord. But despite all of that, God still promises that one will come from this line, despite its shortcomings, and he would be different from those who came before. This is what the prophet Isaiah says. There shall come forth a shoot from the stump of Jesse, and a branch from his roots shall bear fruit. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge, and the fear of the Lord. This Emmanuel is the branch of Jesse. He comes with power and might, but it is here that we hear what he will actually do. The first time we actually hear exactly what this Emmanuel is going to be doing here on earth. Yes, he will save his people. He'll come to them, but he'll save them from Satan's tyranny, that broken relationship with God, and the shame and the guilt put upon them because of sin. He would have mighty power like the kings of old, but it would not be for earthly salvation, but true, mighty power to save those who are trapped in the darkness of sin and death. He will give them a victory unlike any other, for he will give them victory over even death itself. This is Emmanuel, the one who comes from the kings of old, to be powerful deliverer and restorer of his people. And this Emmanuel, we know, is going toward, once again, Jesus. For Matthew, in his beginning of his gospel, gives this whole line, where we can see God's promise from the moment that he told it to Abraham. Come down, the father of Israel, come down and see that this is what God is going to do. Save people from their sins. He will give them victory over the grave. So rejoice, rejoice, O people of God, for Emmanuel comes with purpose to save you. And now we'll go on to our couple of last verses. They get a little bit trickier with its imagery, but still are nonetheless important. But until that time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord look upon you with his favor and give you his peace. Amen. Say goodbye, Daniel. Bye-bye. Just keep playing with that bear.